So, hello everybody. It is me, Demetra Kaye, and I am sitting here with Donovan and recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. And it is our podcast. So, I should say at the top that we are not live, but we'll be back a little bit later live to have a very nice discussion with you all where we do share the link. But right now we are not live. And so I know I'm kind of glitching a little bit, but it'll catch up. It always does that for whatever reason. Maybe I'm too fast for it. Maybe I need to slow down. But anyway, the purpose of the Demetra Kaye Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. So I'd like to say a big giant thank you to Donovan. Today we are going to talk about two subjects. One, we're going to talk about rapper YG and something that he posted. So it's, I'm not going to give it to y'all. I'm going to give it to y'all when I put it up. Donovan got a little bit of a snippet of it, and he was like, what is that? I was like, well, just hold on, and I want to see your reaction to it when we get to it. But nevertheless, and we're also going to talk about DJ Khaled. I think that's how you say his name. I had an interview with Shannon Sharp, and he said something that I thought was really interesting, and I think may be of value to men and women. So anyway, Donovan, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. Just do me a favor, hit that like button, and that'll help with the algorithm and all that. At the bottom, you see the scrolling banner. If you so do desire, please go ahead and keep this woman encouraged to continue to make great videos and bring up great topics that we can talk within the community. That's the way you can do it, and you will ensure she gets 100% of your donation, so you guys know it's going directly to the Demetra Kaye Show. If you go, if you do the YouTube thing, which we do, we still appreciate that too. As we know, YouTube pulls 40% of that for themselves. So instead of giving the money to the other man, why don't you just give it to the brother sister? Also, you guys, I just have to do this. I have to tell you guys, the revolution will not be televised. And what I mean by that is serious topics that we want to talk about within the Black community cannot be talked about on other people's platforms. So why not just go ahead and get our own platform? So go out and get the African Diaspora News Channel app. It's on Play and Google Store and all that other stuff. Download it, become a member, and that way we can chat it up. And if you guys got something to say, you can say whatever you want to say, how you want to say it, without worrying about it not getting censored and all that other stuff. We're going to have those serious conversations because, as you guys know, the Democratic Party, this goes to show you what the Democratic Party thinks about you. They know they're losing Black voters, and yet they refuse to do anything because they don't give a damn. They just don't. So, Demetra, this is going to be interesting. I don't know exactly what Demetra's got in mind, but you guys know I'm going to have my opinion. Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to put this picture up, and hopefully YouTube does not get mad. I think it's blocked out enough, but if you guys watch this back and you don't see it up there, it's because I have to take it out. But I'll describe it as best I can. Okay. So there is a young lady there, and she appears to be a stripper. Okay. Now, to one side of her, you see rapper YG. Now, some of y'all, unless if you're not from the West Coast, you might not really know who YG is, but I think maybe you will. But back in the day, I think it was 2010 or something like that, he had a song that was tooted and booted. Tooted and booted. You ever heard this song, Donovan? What? It was wildly popular. But anyway, he got a whole lot of, other songs. I'm a YG fan, actually. All right, but anyway, I digress. So he's at the strip club, and he actually posted this picture on his social media. This happened to be, I think it was his Instagram. So he had up a whole bunch of, emojis and stuff. And let me actually move this banner. All right. So then at the bottom, you can see where somebody, Ayo Hustle, he says, that's my baby mama too. Take this down now. He says, my baby mama, take it down. Okay. So again, now the HR, this hood ratchet, I don't know, whatever website that was, they put their emblem on it, which I'm grateful, but YG didn't. It was completely, you could see pretty much everything except for that little Band-Aid that hides the stuff you shouldn't be seeing. Okay. I just want to say that. All right. So let me take this down. And I'm gonna put this video up. Y'all had enough of that. Okay, I don't need to put that up no more. So I'm gonna take it down. Okay. Whew. Oh, hopefully this comes up. Let's see. Did it come up? I'm gonna be so mad. Ah, I should have made sure to download it before. Okay, let me see. Hopefully, give me a second. Let me see if it's actually going to do what I needed to do. I don't think that it is. Oh man. Okay, you know what? I don't need to get it from this part. Hold on. Bear with me. Technical stuff. Maybe it's the Lord, but hold on. I can get it from
You
a
never
different
know.
way.
You never know. Like I said, you just keep on going. And as you're getting that up, I want to remind people, please check out the African Diaspora News channel on YouTube and Facebook as well. And check out the Philip Scott Show podcast. He does it almost every night, talking about the Black political issues that affect us in the community. Good conversation over there. Vicki Dillard, all the stuff. Demetra Kaye herself is also there as well. So please tune into that if you haven't, and join that. Subscribe to those channels.
All right, so let me see. Okay, I have to circumvent. I said it like I'm some technician or something. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. It just happened to work. Okay, so let's see here. I'm put this up for y'all. And then we can have a discussion, Donovan. Here we go. Hopefully it works. Oops, hold on. I gotta play it too. This is ghetto. Wait. Hold on. I'm telling you, maybe.
Now I'm looking at the source right now, so I'm not impressed at the picture from whatever this guy's going to say. So far,
okay, hold on. I don't know. Hold on a second. Let me see. I don't know why it's not. Okay, there it is. Okay, this thing be tripping. I think I need to do it from this end. Lord.
But this is a message for YG and whatnot. And from a real one to a real one, man, I'm asking that you please take my baby mama, you know what I mean, off your IG with a, picture of her busting it all open and whatnot. You feel me? So, you know what I mean? Baby was telling me, she had to go to her sisters. Her sister's going through some things, and, she got to handle some family issues. So I'm like, cool, it is what it is. You feel me? I wake up, text message, DMs going crazy, like, nigga, ain't this your baby mama? You know what I'm saying? So I go over to YG Instagram, baby mama on there busting it open, going crazy. Niggas all in the background, cheesing and smiling. Got me looking like a straight goofy, you feel me? And you know what I'm saying? And niggas like, oh, that's your baby mama, you need to keep her in check, you know what I'm saying? Baby don't listen. You feel me? And I'm out here looking like a goofy, you feel me? So, like I say, man, if you're a real one, I'm asking that you please take my baby mama down.
Donovan.
that was a lot. That was a lot. Keyword, baby mama, baby mama, baby mama, baby mama. If this woman is so important to you, young man, why didn't you make her your wife? Maybe that would have changed the scenario where she wouldn't have put herself in that position. How about that? Now, all this baby mama drama, and again, ladies, I don't care what you guys have to say. You can talk about the passport bros and all this other stuff. That picture that Demetra showed, sex work is sex work no matter how you look at it. You can just, oh, we're Americans, so we're better than this country and that country. And, when we do it, no. Sex work is sex work. A hoe is a hoe. Thought is a thought. It's as simple as that. But I'm going to say this to the young man, and I get it. I get it, bruh. That's your baby mama. But like Super Chicken used to say, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it, Fred. You knew it. To me, his situation right there is no different than what Joe Smith is going through with his wife, Miss Chavez, the ex Pan Davis, whatever her name was in her adult film industry. You knew what this girl was about. If they got a little hoe in them, they will always have a little hoe in them. And that's just how it is. I mean, that's how it is. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Probably why you made her a baby mama. Because I'm not saying, I don't know this woman, I don't know him, but I'm just saying, if this woman is so important to you as a man and a woman to have your children, why didn't you make her a wife? Why did she have to go out there and strip or whatever? Was she already like that when you met her? I don't know the whole ramifications of whatever, but that's just your baby mama. So, she's going to do what she wants to do. You have no claim on her whatsoever. her body, her choice, her body, her choice. Isn't that what they say? Isn't that what they say? That's where you're at, brother. You want to know why? Because you weren't man enough to make this woman your wife and put her under your protection. And this is what happens, brothers. I'm telling you. Some of you guys got multiple baby wives, and you want these women to be honored and all that other stuff. No, YG is correct. Put that. Matter of fact, put the whole video up, YG. We want to see this girl busting it out straight up.
You said a mouthful, brother. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably some video rolling around, you know, and I just, when I saw that, I kind of felt sorry for him, but then as I got to thinking about it, it's like, I'll tell you, I feel sorry for him because it's like, you got to come on to the internet and defend your baby mama, taking it down. You're telling listen, YG ain't gonna take that down, okay? I don't think YG is gonna take that down. And I was imagine up until you got up on the internet, nobody even knew who you were. So you could have just kept that on the low and it would have died down. Because, you know, anything on the internet nowadays has a 15-minute cycle and then it's gone, you know, and that happened last week. So it's like, now you brought it back up and now you've made yourself a clown because you're on there telling YG to take down your, first of all, you don't think people got a screenshot of it? You know, I'm telling you, without the thing emblem over it, it was quite a sight to see, you know.
We've got Bush. We've got Bush.
No, it was pretty smooth. But I mean, it's like, gosh, there's just so much going on with that. I'm thinking if I was a man, I would never have done that. Because to me, you got more of a problem with YG posting it than you do with her, than her having a leg up in the air. Like I said, very limber, you know, young lady. You got more of a problem with that. And then you talking about she your baby mama. So it's like, Donovan, I have to disagree with you a little bit because we don't know. Maybe they're not together because she was like, I'm going to the, you know, strip club or whatever. Maybe he was like, all right, I don't want to be with you or whatever. But then the other thing is too, your baby mama is up in there doing something strange for the change. Why? Why is she doing something strange for the change? Now, you know, like I told you, I know some strippers, and I know that money, and Donovan knows something too, that money is addicting. You know what I'm saying? They getting, some of them walk out of there $10,000 a night, if they good. But unfortunately, a lot of times they don't keep the money, so they right back up in there. It's a high. So we don't know necessarily why she's in there. Does she have to be in there? Is it a high? She's taking care of the children. What's going on? But I mean, I think we would probably, and don't quote me, have less women on the pole if, like you said, stop putting babies into people that you're not married to. And as men, stop putting babies into people you do not want to be with, right? Like, I think she would have been less likely to be on the pole if she was made a wife. You know what I'm saying? But again, we hear men complain about, oh, she this, the child support, this, that, or, please take my baby mama picture down. But it's like, did you think about all that? Was she already a stripper when you met her? Like, why did she go to being a stripper? She wasn't before you met her, but it's like you put your seed in that woman and had no earthly idea of who she was. Because I'm going to tell you something. There's some women who say, you know what, I got to pay some bills. Let me go see if the dirty, nasty kitty is hiring today. And there's just some women, like you said, Donovan, that's just who they are. So it's like, was that who she was, or did she become that? I'm curious.
All right. And let me add this. Let's go to the other side of it. Before I go to the other side of it, let's also ask this young man this. Why are you addressing YG, whoever this outlet is or whatever? Why are you addressing them? Shouldn't you be addressing your baby mama? Shouldn't you be addressing her? Because
he said again, she had a doctor's appointment and all of that, so he was speaking on her behalf.
Right. Because once it's on the internet, ladies and gentlemen, it's forever. Like you said, somebody's probably already screenshotted it, downloaded the videos, and all kinds of stuff like that. So at this point, what is the point of going on the internet? Could you please take it down? No, you're just enhancing people to go look into it more and more and more and see what everybody's kind of talking about. I would have addressed it with her. But ladies, here's the thing, and this is why I know a lot of women do not think certain sex work that they do isn't sex work. Sex work is sex work. If you're doing something for money, exposing yourself, taking pictures, that's all sex work. I don't care how you look at it. If you're doing it on camera, if you're doing it on stage, you're just having those bust out parties and all that other stuff, it's all sex work. It's all sex work. You could justify it in your mind and be delusional. It's sex work. So when you talk about the passport bros going overseas with women that want their money, that's what women in the United States do. That's what women all over the world do. I mean, in general. But ladies, here's the sad thing. Because if this woman wasn't who she was, and I get it, desperate times mean desperate measures. If this is your baby's mama, you should be worried about the trauma your kids are going to go through as they grow up when their friends find mama that exact picture or video, busting it out on a thing later on down the road when these kids can, search and Google. Matter of fact, you could be 3 years old. I've seen kids 3 or 4 years old on phones, Googling and going to certain websites and stuff like that. You need to address the trauma your kids are going to do. And if that is your baby's mama, brother, I'm going to give you some advice as somebody who's a victim of the child support system. You need to go and file and go get your kids. Right there. I'm not saying you're going to get them, but that's a good case to why you should go get your children. But you ladies, I know you guys don't think it's a big deal. It is a big deal, especially if you have sons. If you have sons and mama's out there busting it out on the internet and all the friends, these guys are going to get teased and they're going to be talked about. I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny. We think desperate times are desperate measures, but I think it's amazing in the greatest country in the world that has a social safety net that Venezuelans are coming here to get. You got to go take your clothes off and go into the champagne room, VIP room, and do something strange for the change. It's so sad. And you talk about you love your kids. Loving your kids, it doesn't mean giving your body up just to get a few coins. Sorry.
Yeah. Like I said, I know some sex workers. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I don't. I do know some sex workers, and they've done it, and some of them don't do it anymore. But they're doing it or have done it for a whole host of reasons. And I don't know. That's not something I would do, but it's a skill that they have. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that, or go work at Walmart for $7.25 an hour. And not be able to take care of myself and the children. I'm not justifying. I'm just, because I like to look at things from all angles. Or I go out here to these clubs at night, couple hours, shake something, and then, go.
Bottle girl is sex work. I don't care what you say. If you're a bottle girl, that's sex work.
Yeah, but but so it's, I'm just looking at it from, all angles. Like I said, let's say I'm a stripper, and I'm not. I go to work at night, the kids are probably asleep, and I'm out for a couple hours, get off in time to get them ready for school, did it with your day, and then I lay down and take a nap myself, and I get back up, and you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know why that lady is doing it, but again, I say this all the time. I know men, y'all like to say, well, she this, she that, and she but it's like you had a choice in the matter too. You could have asked her a bunch of questions. All right, I know you a stripper. You willing to not do that? If we get together, and if I make you an honest woman, are you willing to, whatever her answer is, then you got to, go from there. But I just get tired of hearing men complain about things that they go through with women. And it's like, well, I'm sure she did that pose for him, right? And I'm sure he was like, bet, yeah, that's the future Mrs. Hustle, because that's what he said his name was, Ayo Hustle. That's the future Mrs. Hustle. All she had to do was put her leg up in the air one time for him, and all his brains went to mush. So I just think it speaks volumes. But poor guy that have to get up on the internet and say, hey, YG, can you take my baby mama down? If I was YG, I'd be like, well, I mean, what was your baby mama doing up in there? And she didn't decline. She didn't have a problem raking up all this money we was throwing on the floor. And I'm sure
Wasn't she smiling at the camera? Wasn't she smiling at the camera?
I'm sure it was business as usual for her. YG come up in there and shoot. I know he was throwing big dollars. So I'm sure she was like, okay, normally I put my leg up just a little bit, but for you, Bam! They got the green light, like on the Players
Yeah,
Club.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there's money in the house, so I don't know. But my thing is,
It's kind of when I show up at strip clubs, the women just the alarms come down.
yeah, because they're like, be careful, you're gonna get hit with some coins. Be careful.
No. Not only the coins, I got the fish line on the $100 bill.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's just so.
But here's my question in all seriousness is though, fellas, and Demetra, I just want your opinion on this. I know you're not a man, but let me get your opinion. You have a father in your life and you have brothers. If you are going to give this woman a baby, or you know that this woman is your baby mama, why is it that she had to make a decision like that to embarrass you and embarrass herself or whatever she's doing? Why? Okay, as much issues that I have with my oldest baby's mama and how much she took me to the ringer, I let her do it so she doesn't have to do other things. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
you know what I mean? It's like, how are you complaining when if you got to give her the money,
because I mean, like I said, I think it's more to it than
yeah.
him, because we don't know what their situation is, But like I said, I know strippers, and I know that money is highly addicting. It is. It's a high. It's a high to go in there and know I'm gonna be in here a couple of hours, and I'm gonna go off with a bag full of money, and I'll be able to, do what I got to do. And because we talk about women staying off the pole, but we never really give it a question of staying off the cashier, because that ain't sexy. Me having to be at the walking to Walmart, walking to McDonald's, can I take your order? Again, I'm not glorifying it, but I'm one of those people, I don't judge people either, because I don't know why that woman is on the pole. Yeah, sure, there's some women who just like the lifestyle, but then there's some women who, and I know some women who at one point in time, I'm going on the pole to, better myself. I'm paying my way through school, and then 15 years later, it's like, you still get that degree yet? Well, what happened was, and on the other side of that too, I know a particular stripper that, like you said, with this one, her children may see it, and her child did see it, and her child ain't been the same since. I mean, her child is, taking it to the next level. The stuff she was doing, was she would go to school, and my friend, I don't know what's wrong with her, but she would have her website on a bumper sticker of her car. And so some of the boys from the school went on the website and they saw, her mama in all her glory. And they would say stuff to her like, are you like your mama? You do that kind of stuff too. And so, poor thing, she just never had a regular life. And she ended up going into that line of work per se. And she's still doing it right now. And so kind of like, and I'm using this loosely, the sins of the mama visited her daughter. Even though her mom was like, don't do this, do that, do this, do that. But it's like, well, I mean, you didn't take your own advice. So.
Right. And then where, again, in that situation, where's the father? If I found out that my ex is doing stuff in the sex work, I am going to go fight for my children. That's just me. I can't speak what everybody else is going to do.
This particular case, her father was murdered.
Yeah, no, I get that. So. Yeah. No, I get that. But what I'm saying is, in general, because that's a reflection on you. The fellas, let's just be real about it. The women that you impregnate, that is a reflection of your decision of what you wanted as somebody to bring, your seed into the world and all that, and to cultivate your seed. So that's a reflection on you. And if you can't control this woman and she's got natural hoe in her, it is what it is. You can't complain after the fact, because if that's what attracted to you, and Demetra, I know a lot of women in the adult industry. All my friends, I remember in the 90s, all my friends were like, oh my God, you know her? Oh, can you get with her, whatever? Hey, let's be real. Everybody has a price. You can get with anybody in the adult industry if you got a price. And I'm just telling you guys the real deal. Don't let no woman tell you, oh no, I'm just a businesswoman and it's just business with me and I'm an actress, whatever. Bullshit. Everybody has a price, okay? But I was a realist. That woman's a professional. Anything that I do to her, it's nothing. It's nothing. My ego would have been shattered if I got with any of my adult performing friends. My ego would have been shattered as a man. But the point is, I'm not going to wife this woman up or whatever, whatever my situation is. But it's just so sad that, our women, for whatever reasons, are being forced. And some women are natural hoes. I know we get those ones. That's a small niche of our women thing. But adult sex work is being so normalized now that that's the go-to thing. And it's just sad. And, ladies, unfortunately, you got to stop thinking about now and worry about later, especially if the children are involved. There's children involved in that. It's going to affect them one way or the other.
Yeah, and and listen, again, that's not my lifestyle. Wouldn't choose that for myself or anybody I know. But if I was her, and I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all, okay? I would tell him, listen, sucker, shut your ass up, because now you messing up my money. You know what I'm saying? What if the club gets mad and say, okay, now your baby daddy doing too much, you gotta go, or whatever the case is, or this, that, the others, like, shut up. If you're not going to put the same amount of money that I'm getting for raising my leg up in this club every night, then I'm gonna need you to shut up. Now, I don't know if she put him up to it. I just can't see her doing that, because it's like, listen, why if she was next to YG, if she's next to YG and I know she raked up a bag. I know she did. Because YG ain't up in that club throwing little pennies and stuff like Donovan pelting the strippers with pennies. He up in there throwing racks. So I would have said that to him. Listen,
nickels. I don't go no lower than a nickel.
Right. And I'd have said to him, I'm gonna need you to button your lip, because you messing up my Skrilla. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I know the club is probably like, yo, you need to get your baby daddy or whatever, unless that man his name is Hustler, Ayo Hustler. So if you a hustler, why is your baby mama on the pole? Now I get it. Sans her just probably wanting to be there. But if you got such a problem with her being on the pole, then, get your game up, get your hustle up, and be like, baby, don't worry about nothing. I don't know if they're together or not. I don't know. But if y'all, either if y'all not together or you don't want your baby mama in that situation, then do what you got to do to make sure she ain't got to do that. Other than that, I need you to be quiet.
Or let her do what she gonna do, because hoeing is hoeing. Go get your kids. That way it ain't an issue. It ain't an issue. Go get your kids. Simple as that. But it's just sad. But again, I'm not surprised by any of this, because the sex work has been normalized. OnlyFans, bottle girls, whatever, everything has been just normalized. And that's where we're going in the society. And Demetra, I was the first to say that. The minute that they legalized marijuana in different states and stuff, I said, what's next is going to be the vajayjay. That they're going to legalize that next, because most Western countries in the world, modern countries, have a red light district. That is the next logical step. Simple.
Yeah. So, but sex work has been here since the beginning of time, and it ain't going nowhere. Because as long as somebody got $2, somebody gonna make you holler. I'm just saying, again, that ain't for me. But as I heard it a long time ago from some of the OGs, in this life, okay, I want y'all to write this down. In this life, you either pimping or hoeing, okay? Which one are you doing? Now, I'm going to let you fill in the blanks, but you either pimping or you're hoeing, okay? So somebody going to pay to do something one way or the other. As I said, I don't justify sex work, but I don't knock it either, only because I know the alternative out there is like you asking me to stop putting my leg up in the air, whatever the case is, to go get a regular job, which a regular job is admirable. It's respectable. However, is that regular job putting some food on the table? Is it? Because this is how I understood work from a long time ago. You are trading, when you go punch a clock, you're trading dollars for hours, right? So I give you 8 hours at $7.25. I'm bringing home about $42 a day. So you asking me, and I'm not, listen, I'm just trying to bring some common sense, because I know a lot of times it's easy for us to say, well, I wouldn't do that. You need to go get a regular job. But then when you really think about when you're telling people to do, You asking me is to say I'm a stripper, and I'm not. Okay, are you asking me to go work? Because let's say I don't have no skills outside of being a stripper, which it's a skill. Now I'm going to get a regular job because people are frowning on me, and I'm going to hell, and all this other stuff. So get a regular job. I'm making $42 a day, and I'm giving up because I know some strippers, they make at least $1,000 a night. Okay. You asking me to give that up so I can be honorable to who? What is more honorable? Me going to punch a clock, trading dollars for hours? I'm trading you 8 hours of my day, or me being able to put food on the table, take care of my children, have a decent roof over their head, or whatever the case is. What's more honorable? And who am I honoring? Who exactly am I honoring? And I'm just playing devil's advocate, just putting that out there.
Let me give you guys a little background here. and I always tell men this all the time, especially when it comes to their daughters. If you're a man out there and you have daughters, and daughters are going to be beautiful. Going to be beautiful. I mean, they have one thing, a commodity. Even if they're ugly girls, they have a commodity that men want. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. And Demetra, you may agree with me. I'm very sure you will agree with me with this. I tell all of my friends, all of my relatives that have daughters, to go and get a book called Pimp, The Story of My Life by Iceberg Slim. Demetra's read the book. I've read the book. It is a mesmerizing book. And basically the reason why I say have your daughters read that book is because once you know game and you can recognize game can't be run on you. But it kind of tells you about how the pimping thing goes, and with the rules of it. It's like the Bible of pimping. And unfortunately, you got a lot of young thundercats out here that are giving the pimping game a black eye. Okay, you ain't got to put your hands on a woman to get her to prostitute. You ain't got to, and we're not promoting that. That ain't what I'm saying. But it basically gives you a insight on the pimping game. And a funny thing about this book, Iceberg Slim, who was a very, very famous pimp, and a lot of people read this book. If you're a real pimp, you've read this book. I mean, you can't even get it in libraries because it gets stolen. People don't even bring it back. They check it out and you got it. It don't even come back. He had nothing but daughters. And they know the pimping game, even though they're not in it, but they're familiar with what their father did. And, it's just one of those things that I would highly recommend to a lot of people to read that book, because pimping is all about mind control. When you could convince somebody to go out there, do something strange for the change, and bring you back all the money, I mean, that's the game. That's the game. And if more of our women, because here's what's going to happen to a lot of the women in the new generation, because you're not thinking of the children, and we've got the internet that's exposing all of this stuff out there. I'm going to tell you this, and this is what I know, and I know a lot of women in the adult entertainment industry. A lot of them, it's a limited shelf life. Some of them went on to become doctors, but some of them marry very, very well. A lot of them marry very, very well because of what they do, right? Unfortunately, just like in Joe Smith's situation, you've got some that are hardcore, just hoes. That's just what they do, and it's in them, But the thing is, the game, at the end of the day, just like for the pimp, it's a cold one. There is no health care. There is no retirement and all that other stuff. And so ladies, especially you ladies, you make a lot of money. But Demetra, how many people that not you might know, but you've heard the story, they're our age and they're still trying to go to the strip club and they're still trying to compete. There's nothing worse than an old stripper. The average shelf life of a stripper should be about 35 years old. And that's even pushing it. If you haven't got yourself together by the time you're 35, ladies, it's a wrap. It's going to be a wrap. But get the game, the book called Pimp, The Story of My Life by Iceberg Slim, and read it. It's very good reading.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than an old stripper, and there's nothing worse than an old trick. Because, there's some old men up in there, they're delving off their Social Security check, they army pension, and, every first of the month up in there, and then, you know what I'm saying? So it's pathetic on both ends, I will agree. But yeah, Iceberg Slim, Robert Beck, He set the blueprint for everybody you can think of. Ice Tea and
More Slim up in Frisco,
all of the black exploitation movies about pimps and stuff. He set the blueprint, and you know, I read the book. I didn't make my daughters and my daughter and my niece read the book. I had my nephews read the book because I wanted them to understand some things. I had, you know, have my daughter and my niece watch The Mac, which is one of my favorite movies. But again, that was predicated off of Iceberg Slim's life as well. But yeah, you know, he said he was taught that Iceberg Slim by an older pimp, and the Mac is basically an adaptation of his life. But he said the pimp was like, "It's nothing to control a woman's body. That's easy. But if you get her here, there's nothing you can't make her do." So he said from that point, he understood the control that he had over women. And he said he was a young guy pimping, you know. And he said, I remember he told the story of how it was, you know, this lady, she had her thing together. And it's like I said, the Mac it's an adaptation, but she was on her own, doing her own thing, whatever, had her own place, her own car, and they hooked up, and this is what he said. He said, I put a foot to her ass, literally. And the next thing he knew, she was working for him, you know. But y'all have to read the book. It's a powerful book, not to glorify pimping, but just how it's done, right? And not even that you have to be somebody that's on the stroll or have a handler per se, but that goes on every day in real life with people in everyday situations. So also another interesting thing about Iceberg Slim is when he got married years later. Now, y'all don't know, Iceberg Slim was born in like 1918 or something like that. So a lot of times when we think about him, we think in modern times. No, he was born, you know, over 100 years ago, you know. But when he got married, his wife, and she was a white lady, said that he would tell her all these stories and stuff. And she was like, wait a minute, wait, well, no. Don't you say another word, because the stories that you telling me needs to be in a book. So she said that, you know, she typed like 130, 40 words a minute. So she said she could keep up with him as just telling the stories. And so they wrote the books, and they went to, you know, have them published. And that's how his movies and stuff got on the big screen. And I love that part of the story, because without that woman, you know, seeing the talent, or, you know, if you take it for what you want, but
his bottom chick to keep everybody in line.
He wasn't doing it anymore. He was, you know, retired, if you will, and married, like I said, he got daughters and stuff. But she saw, because he was a great storyteller, and that's how a lot of these pimps you see now with the rap, and they got the rap down, they got that from him. So he was a great storyteller, but she put all that to work, and because of her, we know about him. But that stuff was going to die with him, but she saw the vision, and, you know, the rest is history. So I love that story, because the power of a good woman, and we're going to get into that in a minute. Without the power of a good woman, like I said, we wouldn't even know nothing about Robert Beck, Iceberg Slim. So very telling.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, when I see these young guys given the game, it's called the game, the black eye, it's ridiculous. When you got to put the chick on the drugs, the drug man gets the money first. When you got to beat her and physically harm her, you're damaging the goods. So that's why I have no respect for these young pimps that don't know how the game is run. And I'm just going to say this about the books. I'm not glorifying the book. I put the book down in my squadron. You know, we were sitting there in the Middle East, had nothing else to do. I couldn't get the book back, Demetra. The book is that mesmerizing. Even when my niece read it, she couldn't put it down. She was like just reading it. It was just it just sucks you in because it was so real. It's a very good read. If you're a book reader, yeah,
it's a true story. Yeah. Iceberg Slim, it's a true story.
Yeah, it's such a good read. Yeah, it's such a good read. I mean, people just weren't putting the book. I couldn't get the book back. I couldn't get my book back. And again, I'm just saying, in today's world, ladies, if you are going to be in the sex game, you're going to be a sex worker, please read that book. Just read the book, please, because it's going to help you in your endeavors if that's the career you decide to pursue.
I think Ice Cube was supposed to be making a movie about it, but I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Probably in development hell as usual when it comes to black movies and things that we want to produce out there. They put it in production hell.
The only hope is when they do it, if they ever do it, is they do it right. Do it from because we know about Iceberg Slim. And I've actually researched Iceberg Slim, which is how I knew about his wife and all that other stuff. But I just really hope that they do it from I don't know if you can, but an artistic point of view, and not because the Mac, came on the black exploitation era. So it was kind of tongue in cheeky type of thing. But I really hope they do it like they did Ray Charles or something like that, where it's really in depth. We learn something about him that's not mainstream. That's what I hope, because I think it's a very important story to tell. Because, like I said, without Iceberg Slim, you don't have Snoop Dogg's persona and just a lot of these,
Bishop, Don, Magic Wand, all those guys,
all these people.
Yeah, and real quick, if you go on YouTube and you put in Iceberg Slim or whatever those, there's a kind of like an interview with his daughters and stuff, and you can kind of get a perspective from people that actually knew him and experienced his life and stories. So you're interested.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get on to our next topic. So I saw this on Club Shay Shay. It was a snippet of Shannon Sharp interviewing DJ Khalid. Khalid, I think that's how you say. My nephew's name is Khalid.
Yeah,
DJ
Khalid.
Mm-hmm. And he was talking about this particular portion of it. He's talking about his wife. So here we go. Share this. I have to do it the old-fashioned way because the other way ain't working right now. All right, here we go.
She introduced me to cocoa butter. She's like, yo, baby, you need some cocoa butter. Right. She introduced me to Dove soap. I might have used a different one. It's just the little things, and it was just the care. And I never had that care only for my mother. Right. I'm out here hustling. I'm out here grinding. I was washing my own clothes. So it'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying? She came in to show me that love, but I call her my spiritual advisor. And she's not a regular spiritual advisor because she's tough. And I loved it. But she was not only my lover, my best friend. Right. And she gave me my two beautiful boys. And I told her, we forever.
To hear you talk, I had Steve Harvey on about 2 months ago, and he mentioned how Margie helped him level up. It put him in a different frame of mind, that she gave him the positivity to think that he was Superman.
That's what she does for me.
And to hear you talk.
That, and I didn't know he said that. And I know that feeling because sometimes I'll be like, yo, Ma, it's like, come on. And she's like, you got this. In so many ways. And I'm like, man, you're right. And I get it done. She makes sure I keep my head up high, my chest up high, and let's get it.
Donovan, you want to go first? You want me to go first? Let me remove it. So I saw that yesterday, and I really like that. Now, of course, if you guys don't know who DJ Khalid is, he is a producer, a DJ producer, and he's I think he's got some Grammys, but he's very wildly popular. Of course, you guys know he's worked with everybody you can think of, right? So if you don't know who he is for whatever reason, go and check him out if you want. Okay, so I really love that because, like you said, he talked about the power of his woman leveling him up. Now, we talk about that sometimes on this show. That I think it's important to be with a woman, if you're a man, that can level you up. Now, the talent was all of his, right? But how much further did he go? Because he had a dynamic, as I like to say, dope and dynamic wife on his team, right? Says she taught him about cocoa butter, like, dude, you up out here ashy, right? Now, that don't mean that, he wasn't taking a bath and stuff, but I'm just one of those people. I know some men will disagree. Well, no, and that woman teaching a man what to do, all this other stuff, right? But I think it takes a woman that knows her worth with a very keen eye and sometimes a keen nose, because some of y'all jokers don't, y'all don't smell yourself, to say, hey, babe, I know you jumped in the shower today, but you're a little bit ashy. Your elbows is ashy. You're ashy. You rough around the edges here. Put this on. But it also takes, now I want to hear what I'm saying. It also takes a man to say, you know what, baby, you think that's what I need to do? Oh, absolutely, honey. Okay, well, give it to me. Let me go on and put it on, whatever. But see, some of y'all mean, I know I'm good. Ain't nothing wrong with me. No, I'm all right. I don't need to take a bath today. And it's like, dude, see what I'm saying? If you got a good woman on your team, do your best to say, all right, if you think that's what's best, especially if she ain't giving you no advice that's harmful. She ain't telling you to take a bath in no battery acid. She's saying, here, put some cocoa butter on, you know, do this. How about your hair? You got you maybe all that. You know, the shirt is nice, but to you where you going today, you might need a little button-up shirt. You might need something that's a little bit on the snazzier side. Look like you took some time to care about yourself. Yeah, you know, the t-shirt is cute in the house. But when you going out and you representing the family, you representing us, honey, go on and shine your shoes up, put a nice little shirt and some slack. You see what I'm saying? But he also says she is my spiritual advisor. And I, as a woman, understand this. You got you a good woman who is discerning, who says, hey, baby, I don't know about this person. I don't know, that person kind of giving me, my spidey senses is going up. Now, as a man, you know, of course, you can do what you want to do. But if you got a woman who is intuitive and that's discerning and she can see something's off with a person or situation, it would take for you to say, she might be on to something. Let me think that over instead of saying, well, nah, you know what? I know what I'm talking about. I'm the man. You know, because a woman, especially a woman that loves you and that's into you, she's not going to steer you wrong. She probably not hating or whatever the case is. She's just telling you, listen, something ain't right here. Because, you know, if she's in tune, she'll know that. And he says, she is my best friend. And when you have a best friend in a woman, that's everything. That means you ain't got to go looking outside of your marriage, you know, for whatever else or whatever the case. That is your confidant. That's your BFF. That's your boo thing. That's your everything. And he also said, she gave me my two beautiful sons. He reverenced her as a mother. And he says, hey, girl, we forever. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to know is, after you give your commentary, why is it that men have a hard time keeping a woman like the one he described in their lives to go be with the one that's like, there's top ramen for dinner?
Wow, that's a gang of stuff. So I would say this, and I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to give you my honest opinion about this. DJ Khaled, his culture is different, right? Their culture is intact. We are the only group of people. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying. And this is what a lot of us in our community do not want to accept. We are the only group that did not migrate here. Okay, we did not migrate. This is a country of immigrants, and we are the only ones that did not migrate here. And the way the system is done is to keep us at the bottom and to put a wedge between Black men and Black women within our community, right? So we have these issues to where they're making us compete against each other and changing the dynamic roles within our community. Not saying that women can't get jobs and they can't do these things, whatever. But on a whole, if you compare our community with other communities, we are in chaos compared to other communities. Their culture is intact. Show me another immigrant group, immigrant group that has migrated here to the United States and their religion was taken from them, their political associations were taken from them, their basic humanity was taken from them. We're the only ones that do it. So in reference to your question, I think that is a big reason of that. DJ Khaled comes from a culture that is that stresses family values and all that other stuff. What do we have in the Black culture? Show me right now a Middle Eastern woman who is twerking her butt, talking about she's eating asses out here and all this other stuff, all this dysfunction that is going on out there. Show me another culture where people are doing that. Yeah, you got the Kim Kardashians and stuff like that are doing what they're doing. But again, if you look at her culture, is her culture doing that all in mass? No, they're not. Now, people aren't doing that in mass either. But we have been indirectly, not indirectly, we have been directly targeted for dysfunction within our community. And I think that is the biggest problem in our community. You know, to sum it up in a nutshell, I mean, think about this. You have women that are highly educated. You could be in a room with 10 men. 4 of the men ain't shit. And for some reason, these educated women will pick the 6 men or the 4 men that are dysfunctional to have children with. I mean, we can't even vet right. You know, these are things that are going on in our community. I'm not trying to stereotype or whatever it is, but let's just be real about it. You've got women out here having children with men that are in the streets or whatever. And then they want to, you know, come back and circle the block. You've got women that will go out with men that pants are sagging. Their pants are literally sagging, and the woman thinks she got something. This man's not a rapper. He's not this or an entertainer. He's in the streets himself. You see what I'm saying? There's no correction, whatever, because our value system has been so deshelled. That's what I think.
So, yeah, I mean, my thing is, like I said on Sunday, we're not talking about the hoes. We ain't talking about the twerkers and the, you know, the whoever. Those women are doing what those women are doing. That does not define all sisters. And I know that you said that it doesn't, but like I said to y'all on Sunday, there's a lot of sisters out there who say a lot of wonderful things. They've dedicated their channel and their content to Black men, but I never hear y'all go on and on and on. Maybe it's just human nature, right? We kind of tend to focus on the things that are negative opposed to the things that are positive. Because as I always say, I think we do a disjustice to the people who are doing right when we continuously talk on the people who aren't doing right. So even within our culture, there's a lot of good women out there who are what DJ Khaled's, I think her name is Kim, what Kim is doing, and then some. There's a lot of Black women who are that way. But again, when y'all focusing on the ratchets and the hoes and the thoughts and the, you know, the women who can't boil hot dog water, then yeah, you know, of course, then there. But there's a lot of women who are about that life. And, you know, as far as you said, you know, there's women with degrees and all that. Listen, degrees don't mean that you're smart. You know, degrees just means that you did the curriculum and you did what you had to do to get the piece of paper. That don't give you common sense or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. But I always hear that argument as well. You know, women are choosing those type of men. But I'm like, well, wait a minute, have to put a foot to the backside of the men who ain't acting right. You know what I'm saying? I know there's an argument of, yeah, the women are raising the boys and this, that, and the other. Yeah, the women have a lot to do with the product that they're turning out. Trust me, I've been with a few men who had some sorry ass mamas and made them sorry too. Okay, I said it. I have, you know. But then those same men, their father was not around. I'm trying to think the times that I've actually met any of the men that I've been with father. Give me a second. I've never, this is an epiphany for me, believe it or not. I've never met any man that I've been with, and because most of my relationships have always been long term. I've never met their father. I have never met their father, their grandfather, met their moms and the aunties, but I've never met the father. Now, in a lot of cases, the father was dead, or you know, the father, they didn't know him, or whatever the case is. But I've never met their fathers. I'm 52 years old, and I'm telling y'all, any man that I've ever had a relationship with, I've never met their father. So I think that's problematic in and of itself, because yeah, I know the woman, she's with the child. She, as Dr. Ava Muhammad said, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and Farrakhan says that the woman, you know, this is the seeds that you're producing. You have a big role in turning out something great, but that does not absolve the father for whatever reason. You ain't with the mama. You just, you know, I'm not with the mama, and I just check out and, you know, leave degenerates running all over the streets. Because, you know, like I said, my nephews, they tried that whole sagging trend. And my younger brother, he says, you're going to get a belt and I'm going to use it for one or two things. I'm going to use it to whoop your ass, or we're going to use it to put it up so you can pull your pants up. And that sagging thing went right away. You know what I'm saying? Now, he got him before I got him, but I was glad that it came from a man. It came from a man. It had a little bit more clout than coming from a woman. So we cannot continue. Yeah, I get it. There's women who make bad choices, but then we got to think about the bad choices. Who holds the bad choices accountable? When do men just start to say, hey, Junior, that behavior is not acceptable? Hey, Junior, pull your pants up. Hey, Junior, because I'm telling y'all a story. Well, me and my daughter's father, we was, going back and forth. He had went away to visit his mom, and I was holding down, and we weren't together. So, but I was watching the house and stuff, and he comes back, and he's tricking off. Well, it wasn't. Well, we were together, but we weren't. If that makes any sense. So I couldn't reach him. This is before pagers and cell phones and all that. So I go over there with my daughter on my hip, knock on the door. He wasn't answering the door. He on the other side of the door, tricking off. So, of course, there was a lot of commotion. And another black man that lived across the way from him, he was also a Marine. My daughter's father was a Marine. And I'm, how can you do this to me? Had my daughter on my hip. And the brother, he says, sweetheart, come down the stairs. Come here. So my daughter's father comes to the door, and the guy says to him, he says, Marine, you ain't right. He addressed him by Marine. He says, you ain't right. He said, this woman been having your back. I see her over here making sure your place is good and all that, and this is how you do her. He said, you ain't right. And my daughter's father just looked like, damn. But I never forgot that. He was still on that BS, but I never forgot that man not necessarily even stood up for me, but he checked him. From a man to another man, you ain't right. And he told me, he said, dry your eyes, take your baby home, and make the best decision for you. And from that, I started, going on the path of doing that. But that I never forget that man. He let him know, from man to man, I see you, and I don't co-sign what you're doing.
See, and that's a good story. But here's the issue with that. And I'm not making an excuse. I know it sounds like an excuse, but it's just the fact of the way men think. It is very hard for a man to check another man, because that's why when men get together, it's very hard, because what could happen is violence. That's why men are very, very leery when it comes to checking. Like I said, if I don't have a direct connection with that young man, it's very, very hard for me to check that person. Like I said, I can check my nephew, I can check my sons, I can do that other stuff. But men that are outside of that scope, it's very hard, because men are quick to violence. That is why when I hear women say, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? That's one of the reasons, because men are quick to violence. And as you've seen in history and things like that, you step on a black man's tennis shoes back in the day, he's ready to fight. They're ready to fight, and that's just how men are wired, and that's just how we are. We're very aggressive. It's like I always tell people, especially women, to go into the gym with all that testosterone that is going on with those men lifting the weights and stuff. That's kind of how it feels for men out in public with other men. We're constantly looking at each other, and kind of, it's like you ever been in a Shark Tank? You see the shark they kind of go around each other, a lion's den. They kind of just like walk around each other, and they got the distance and stuff. That's how men are as well. And so, it just takes just a little fire starter to kick everything off. So and I know that sounds like an excuse, but it's the truth. It's very hard for us to check other men, because bad things happen.
Well, I take your word for it. That's your story. But I just kind of find it disheartening a little bit, because women don't get that luxury. Because we often hear how, women, y'all need to hold other women accountable for the child support system. Y'all see your homegirls in the child support, and y'all don't say nothing. Or even if it's not somebody we know, but for the thought and the ratchetness, the degeneracy, we supposed to go hold other women accountable, because that's the big talking point amongst men, especially on the internet. Women don't hold other women accountable. Y'all need to start holding them. But it's like, but then, so y'all want us to hold each other accountable, but y'all can't hold each other accountable. I just kind of find that it's lopsided. It's a double standard, maybe a little bit. But let's say you can't hold other men accountable. Start with your sons. Start with your homeboys. Y'all know them. Start with your cousins, or the men that you do know, the men that come to you and say, hey man, I'm about to do something real salty and greasy to home girl, especially if you know the woman he with, she a good woman. Why y'all kick him in his backside verbally and say, man, I'm not on board with none of that. Go, you better go home. You got a good woman at home or whatever, because what you're going to do is you're going to be out in these streets and you're going to be out here thotting, jumping from bed to bed with women who don't like you like that. You got to, yeah, she ain't perfect. Is there some things she probably could work on? Yeah. But I'm not, as another man, I'm not going to co-sign you getting out in these streets and, you know, breaking up a home. If you got children with her or whatever, I'm not going to co-sign that. Figure out what you need to do to make it work. If there's some advice something I can do to help, you know, foster y'all relationship, then I can do that. But what I cannot do is co-sign you getting out here in these streets and leaving a broken home, your woman, your child, or whatever, and then she got to be out there and perhaps get with another man who ain't shit either. So while we say y'all can't, and I get it, because I know it's hard for women to go out there. That's why we as women always push back and say, I don't know her. I can't tell her what to do, but my homegirls and my sister and my cousin, I can talk to them. But y'all want us to go hold women accountable that we don't know. And it's not, we can't. But if we start with the circle of influence we have, the people that we could touch, then yeah, it's easy to do that. But I can't, for me as a woman who have raised boys, and it ain't easy. And I was glad that I had men around, but it's almost becoming unacceptable for me to keep hearing. I'm not saying this about you, because I hear men say this a lot, whether it's on the internet, whatever. Oh, well, it's the single mama's fault. Oh, y'all need to choose better. Instead of saying, all right, scratch that. Because as I always say, it'll be a lot of men in women's business. Get out of women's business and go get in men's business and start holding the men accountable. Start teaching the men. Because there's women out here, they're like me. I'm doing my part. I'm teaching the women. I'm telling the women I know, because those are the women I could talk to. I'm telling the women I know, hey, you should probably do this instead of doing that. What about this? What about that? What, you know, I'm doing that. So, men, and I'm going to say this again. I know y'all going to get mad and y'all ain't going to like it, because what it is to me is nails to a chalkboard. When I hear a man, oh, women need to do this, or women need to do that, women. And the first thing that come to my mind is, when the hell was you a woman? How is it that you got so much advice for what women need to do, but you ain't got your mouth as tight as a whatever you could think of when it comes to giving men advice? So that's just kind of how I see it.
So we're in agreement. Just like I said, outside of my sons and in my family, I can check them. I just can't check other men outside of my parameter, right? But let's also be real about this too. Men today aren't built like the men back in our day and our parents' day and our grandparents' day. I could be a man in the community and tell a young man something or yell at a young man, and it's no big deal. We used to remember growing up, guys just get yelled at all the time at school, at gym. They used to just curse us out. We were like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Even the military, they just curse you out. You're just like, okay. And as a man, you're supposed to take it, right? We have 2 generations since I was born of young men that are raised in our community, that are raised by single mothers. And I know what you were saying about the single mother thing. I'm not blaming single mothers. I'm going to say this, and it's factual. When you are raised by something that is not resonant of yourself, like a good example, you have a daughter. Your daughter is going to pick up traits that you teach her, as well as traits of being a woman. So that's a positive for your daughter. But when you're a single mother and you are raising young men with no real positive men influence around them, they're going to pick up automatically some traits of being a female. And so as a man, what I'm looking at, and I'm just talking from my experience, when I was coaching basketball or whatever, I could pick out the kids who had single mothers in their thing because of their traits. They're very sensitive and this, that, and they've got a feminine mindset. And that's just something that comes with the grain. And so it's hard to talk to these young men when they want to have the last word. Yeah, but I told you to shut up. Right? Real men would be okay, just be quiet. But no, they have these little feminine mindsets, and that's a byproduct of being raised by a single parent. And let's reverse it. You'll find a lot of women that are being raised by single fathers that will have masculine traits, because that's just something universally that you're going to pick up automatically from the exposure that you're being raised in. So that's just part of the problem. So if I've got a young man out here in the community and I tell him this or that outside of my group, my influencer group, and I'm with you, everybody should within their group check their people, period. If everybody does their part, as an outside person, I don't have to worry about your son or your daughter, whatever the situation is. But I found that when these guys are emotional, they picked up emotional traits of females. That's why these guys, you tell them something, next thing you know, they're coming back at you ready to spray the block because they're in their emotionalism. And that's what we're dealing with today. Not saying, again, it'd be nice to go back to the way it used to be, but unfortunately, that's that train has left the station.
Yeah, but we need to get it back to that way, because again, like I said, women are expected to, do what your grandmamas was doing and your great grandmas, big mamas. We expected to do that. We expected to be a traditional and all that. But then, and I'm not saying it's about you, but men is like, well, it's like, nah. I agree. We do need to get back to that, and we can get back to that. We just need to keep teaching those principles. And the other thing too is, I get it. There's a lot of single mamahood in the Black community, but men, stay. Maybe not you, and maybe you're not gonna stay with her. Leave her, but stay with your child. I mean, it's just it's that simple. Break the cycle. Stop saying, well, you know what, we don't get along, I'm leaving the child, and you go off and be with another woman, and y'all, make a child, or you take care of her children for the time you with her, and then you just keep skipping around and all that other stuff. Just stay with the child, leave the mama, and also remember that little boy, yeah, he gonna be raised with his mama. Maybe she don't have her stuff together. Maybe she's dealing with the loss of not having a father around, and she's got her own demons and stuff that she's fighting or whatever. So then think about that little boy is going to grow up to be a man, and he's going to harbor those things, the resentment and the traits and all that, and I say this too. I know a lot of brothers who have had a tumultuous relationship with their mom because the mom wasn't right. She talked to them crazy and would little boy them, or son's been them, and all that other stuff. And then they grow up to be resentful. And I say this a lot. I don't mean this to be mean, but I believe the way that he was raised with his mama, and I'm speaking for men that I know, the way he was raised with his mama, and these men don't realize this, they resent women, but they haven't made that connection, because they don't, the stuff that their mom did or said or whatever, they bring that into adulthood, and subconsciously they connect that to every woman that they're with. And for whatever reason, they cannot foster a good relationship, because I think in the back of their mind or deep in their heart, they still hear and see their mama who was, shut up, you ain't this, you ain't that, and you ain't that. Or, and I know this too, for a lot of men, your mamas, and I say y'all, I'm saying in general, your mamas didn't allow you to grow up to be a man. She did everything for you. She robbed you of your thought process. Oh, don't worry, try to bring a woman around. Oh, she had an opinion on her. Oh, she this, she that. Because in your mama's mind, she like, that's my man. Now, I'm not talking about nothing sexually, but in her mind, that's what she was saying. Oh, this woman is a threat. So I need to figure out a way why this woman ain't good enough for my son. Some of y'all men out there got mamas who ain't never I don't care if she was a good woman. She never liked her. She found something about her. Oh, she too this, she too that. I don't know, son, or just something about her. And then she talked you out of being with a good woman. And guess what? Now you with your mama, because she done made you her husband. And then when your mama go on to glory, you ain't got no woman. You don't know how to be with a woman, because the only woman that you was allowed to be with, and I said allowed because your mama, I don't care if you 18 or not, or you 18, you're 58, Your mom did not allow you to go and be in a healthy relationship with another woman because, for one thing, your mama probably don't got no man. And the fact that she ain't got a man, she like, well, shoot, the heifer, you ain't gonna come along and take my man. My son, he doesn't, we don't have sex, but we do, he does everything for me. He comes to take care of the house. He listens to me when I have an issue and
Son
whatever I
husband.
need.
Son husband.
Yeah, everything I need, he is there. So I can't allow you to come and take that away from me. You know what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of men don't realize that, and you probably need some therapy or whatever, that your mom has, she's broken you to the point of you, even when you're with a good woman, you find a way to make sure that you know what, this was gonna really mess y'all up. Y'all end up being with a woman like your mama, the woman who don't care about you, the woman who, I don't know, you're asking me for. Then, y'all end up with a woman like that. But then the good woman who was like, you know what, let's figure this out together. You can do it and all this other stuff. Y'all find a way to not want to be with her, but then you end up with a woman that was just wretched, just like your mama. No shade to y'all mama. I'm sure she's a lovely woman.
You know what? Unfortunately, I agree with you. Everything that you said, I agree. Because these guys out here, myself included, we have this false narrative of what a man's supposed to be, because guess who taught us that? Our mothers. Like in my situation, my father died. So I had was my mom. And you guys know my mom is in the military. So my mom didn't give me options. She did all the thinking for me until I turned 18 or whatever, and I was on my own. I had no options. But I just want to give this out. As we know, 70% of divorces are initiated by, 80% of divorces are initiated by women for whatever reasons. Relationships, I would say 50-50 and how you're doing that. So I agree with everything that you just said in regards to women, because everybody knows one thing about me, and Demetra's known me for a long time. My problem with women, and I'm in therapy, and my therapist said this. My therapist said this. I am a sweet person. I am a nice person. But I get triggered when a woman tries to take my place as a man and tell me how to be a man. Because all of my life, I was told what to do by a woman. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. Not saying my mom's the problem. She did the best she could. But when you're raising alpha males, again, my mom's raising alpha males. And I understood why my mom did what she had to do. And, nobody's perfect. We can armchair quarterback, Monday morning quarterback all day long, whatever. But I'm kind of glad my mom put foot to ass when she needed to. There was not an ass whipping I did not deserve. I get that. But my trigger is when I hear a woman, strong, independent women, that triggers me. That, for some reason, I'm triggered. So you hit the nail on the head. Absolutely, when it comes to a lot of men. Because there are good men out there, and I think I'm a good man. But one thing I will not tolerate is a woman raising her voice to me, a woman trying to take my spot, a woman trying to be the leader. I'm not going to tolerate that. Not in my personal life. I'm talking about my personal life. Okay. In the real world, if a woman, like I was in the military, yeah, there were women that were ahead of me and in charge and all this other stuff. Did I like it? No. But I took it because that's, what you got to do as an adult. It is what it is. So in our community, though, I really do think one of the main problems is roles. Women need to get back into their roles and be supportive of men, and men need to get back into their roles and be men. But unfortunately, a good example, like the Keke Palmer thing, we are seeing that women weaponize children against men. And it just makes the situation worse. It's not getting any better. It's getting worse. And the good thing is, though, you're seeing a lot of women that are now calling stuff like this out. But I'm just going to end it with this. Black people, we are now a permanent underclass. If we do not get our shit together between each other, man and woman, it's a wrap. It's just a wrap. Simple as that. So, I don't care. She ain't making the butter biscuits right. That ain't no reason to beat her ass, dude. That ain't no reason to beat her ass. Ladies, you ain't got to have the last word on every goddamn thing. Know when to shut your mouth.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Know when to shut your mouth. You know what I mean? You know, we just got to get rid of these things. And for you ladies, especially you ladies, stop listening to these old bitter women. That is one of the main reasons that we are failing as a community, because you guys are listening to these old bitter women that want you to be in the same boat as they're in. I had a younger cousin that just got married, had 3 kids with this man, and they just got married. And I'm happy that she got it. But see how backwards it was, how she did it? Stop listening to these old, bitter women that are by themselves. If when it comes to your relationship, for ladies, I'm talking to the ladies. When it comes to your relationship, you figure it out and go to women that are successful. Why the hell are you going to go to Dean, who divorced her husband? Because why'd you divorce him, Gloria Dean? Well, you know, people just grow apart. If that's the answer, that ain't the person you need to listen to, because that ain't a legitimate answer. She's just saying because she wanted to be in the streets. That's what she's saying. I just want to go back to the streets. Ladies, go to women that are successful. Whenever I needed advice on marriage, I go to my friends that have been married for 40, 50 years, 30, 20 years, ups and downs. They've been through it, whatever the deal is. And you know what? One thing that they told me when I was married, and one thing about me when I was married, I didn't leave my marriage. They left me, which is fine. But they all circled the block. Do you ever think we could get back? Fuck no. But anyway.
Yeah, and I would say,
but ladies, again, stop listening to these older, bitter women. If you're going to get advice, get it from successful women who are still married.
yeah, and just in closing, I'll say the same thing to men, because I had a man leave me because he got advice from some dude at work that was sleeping on his sister's couch. That was partially part of it. You know what I'm saying? And that was told to me. But yeah, so when I hear stories like that of Gloria Dean, who left her man because they just drifted apart, it pisses me off. You know why it pisses me off? Because I'm in these single streets against my will. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. I was very appreciative in my relationship. I'm not out here because I graduated from this relationship or whatever, all the other nonsense, people out there saying. So when I do hear women just tearing up, decent relationships, like the man ain't beating you or nothing like that, and and you just grew apart, that makes me mad, because there's a lot of women, and not just me. I know a lot of women who are good women, and y'all know, I tell you if there's some bad women out there, but I'll say most of the women I know, they're really good women. They solid women, and they single because they was with somebody who just didn't treat them right, And the other thing too is, I was gonna say, a lot of y'all men, because y'all have had tumultuous relationships with your mom or bad toxic relationships with your mom, and again, a lot of y'all probably just don't realize it. Again, y'all end up with women like your mama. You think about the women that you've been with and see if she has been like your mom, And so I would say this to y'all men: y'all need to get used to being with a woman who makes you feel safe. I don't think y'all really are comfortable with a woman that makes you feel safe. So when I say a woman that makes you feel safe, a woman that loves you, she wants the best for you. She'll, she's behind you. Hey, baby, you could do it. Or she's saying, well, honey, don't you think you could? You're doing well, but what, don't you think you deserve better? Or you know what I'm saying? A woman who's gonna really make you feel like you there with me no matter what, or not everything, but for the most part, she is there with you. She's got your back. She loves you. She makes you feel safe. But instead, some of y'all go with women who don't make you feel safe. She don't treat you well. She doesn't speak to you well. God knows when she made you a good home cooked meal. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case is. So y'all probably really need to examine that. But give it a woman who really makes you feel safe. She makes you feel loved. She doesn't make you doubt your position with her and all of that. Like when you leave out the house, you be like, I know I'm coming back to a woman who really loved me. She got my back. That's the woman you need to be with, not these women out here because they got a big ass and they all the superficial stuff. That she make you feel safe. If you knew that you got down on your last, whatever that is, would that woman say, you know what? I'm here for you. I mean, I'm here for you, help you get back on your feet. We're gonna work this out. We're gonna whatever it is. If you with a woman, you cannot, without a shadow of a doubt, say, yeah, I know that woman gonna be there for me. Then and this is the same advice from women. If you cannot say that about the person you with, that probably ain't your person. Just gonna
I
put it
agree
on.
100%. I agree 100%.
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna be back here. I'm gonna try to upload this as three. I don't know. So we'll be back. Donovan 5:15 ish, give or take. Okay, so we'll be back, and we'll have an interesting topic as well. So in the meantime, you guys be blessed. Again, you guys can bless the channel if you like. We have ways to donate. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. You can also do it on YouTube. We'd love and appreciate you for that. At the very least, like this video. And again, we do have a app at the African Diaspora News channel. Go on to, as Donovan said, your Play Store or whatever it is. Download the app, because the more people that get onto the app, the more we can leave off of here, and we can really just say what we need to say. So again, African Diaspora News channel app. We're really pushing that hard, because we never know when, the lights may get turned off around this part, and then you guys will be looking for us and we won't have a venue. So go over there, please. So until then, you guys, we'll see y'all in a couple of hours. Peace.